Hello, and before I begin, warning, this thing contains opinions and maybe spoilers. If you've not played Dying Light yet, you may want to keep your ears closed on and watch the video because I will be discussing that and some of Far Cry 3. And if you've not played Far Cry 3 yet, do it. Just do it. I've done the motion. You can't see it, but I've done it. Anyway, welcome to a little rant. Let's give you some context before I go into rant. That was the most attractive thing I've done all day. But Dying Light is a free-running zombie survival RPG elemented game. And I like the game. I've been enjoying it for the past couple of weeks. I've been playing it through the second time on hard because I thought, you know what, the first time it was quite difficult. Let's see what it's like the second time. Holy shit, is it different. Refreshing. But here's the thing. The game itself is fantastic, but it suffers from a massive problem. The final boss is a QTE. Quick time event. A quick time event is a series of button presses that are usually timed or very quickly appear on the screen. You will know this from games such as Resident Evil, where you have to run from a boulder and you have to tap the two buttons constantly. And then there's stuff like the Tomb Raider Legends, which has some annoying QTE survival insta-death. And then Kratos, the mother of all gods of war and QTEs, where pretty much everything you do is a QTE. There are games such as Shenmue, which is 100% a QTE, but that's not the problem. My problem is that the final boss is a quick time event. And it ruins it for me. The game itself, I love. I absolutely adore playing it. It's just a nice way for me to relax after doing fuck all for most of the time. But it's what I dislike about video gaming sometimes, and it makes sense when you're having an epic fight and there may be like quick time events in the fight to like signify big phase changes. For example, you could be having this hand-to-hand combat, and then all of a sudden he'll come down and you have to tap to keep yourself alive. Or he will drop something and you have to press a couple of buttons to survive that, which will move on to the next phase. But when your entire fight is that it is a series of 6 button presses and a quick mash, it's not good because they tried to force a lot of the exposition in that one moment where I discovered a small chunk of it during my play. I'm pretty sure I have not found all of it yet because I've not done the 100% completionist route, which I'll be doing in the New Game Plus I've got. But that's not my problem. It's the huge build-up for a flat ending, and that's annoying. So you've got this thing where you're running through two half-built you're running up two half-built skyscrapers. These things are full of the undead. You get up to one, you get alerted to something on next floor, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to go over this other building. So you're climbing up a second skyscraper. You get to the top of that one, and then you're on a crane, and the main antagonist is like, you know what, I'm gonna shoot this crane down. So he shoots the crane down. This epic run at the end of this crane, and you have to jump before your death, which happened once because I mistimed the jump. But anyway, it's just like that moment in Mirror's Edge where you do that first epic jump off at the edge of a crane onto another crane, and it was absolutely amazing. I loved that jump. I loved that feeling. I climb up the side of this building, I'm surviving all of this mayhem to the flattest and most boring bit of the game I have ever experienced. Now, don't get me wrong, the game is great. I love the free running. It can be a bit janky sometimes, especially with it being first person, but I don't mind the first person. The first person brings a different side to it, because most third person games, you have an element of safety in it, due to platformers being a lot easier when you can see what's underneath you, in most cases. The fighting itself is good. It has its moments where it's a pain in the arse because you get these things called virals, which are basically the humans that have just turned but still retain a lot of their speed, and it's a pain in the booty. And then there's the big ones. You've always going to have your like alternative zombies, like the spitter type zombie. Then there's the big bulky guy, and then there's the even bigger bulky guy. It's a massive pain in the ass and knocks you 10 feet every time he touches you. But when you've had all of that, you fight his second in command about halfway through the game. No, 75% of the way in the game. I remember that being the number on the top of the screen. His fight is fantastic. You have to basically fight him hand to hand. Halfway through, he gets some mates in, which is a dick move on his part. But that's what villains do. They don't play fair. You fight this man, you take him down, and it's a memorable fight because it was a hard fight. Mainly because I was playing on hard, and the fact that fighting humans is a bit difficult. But then you get to the antagonist's fight, and it's like, I am going to make a long, drawn-out exposition while I swing at you, and you have to frantically press a button that's really tiny and very, very hard to see in the moment. But if you do it, you have to start from the beginning again. Every time. It's annoying. I hate QTEs. I'm terrible at them, but I don't hate them for that reason. I hate them because in some cases they are completely and utterly unnecessary. That could have been a fantastic fight in a very confined fight space, forcing you to get up close and fight properly. You know, you took one of his hands down ages ago, but that's not the point. Also, where did he get the big fuck-off machete? It kind of reminds me of a discount Vass from Far Cry 3, like I said. His build-up was fantastic. Your first introduction was in a cage with him threatening you and saying, keep quiet, and money will come and you'll let go. As you do in video games, you do disobey and start causing a lot of chaos for him. His methods, his speeches, right up until he dies in that... how to put it? In that psychedelic QTE. It's psychedelic because it's not quite in the real world, it's not quite in their world. It has a moment where it just makes zero sense. And then you stab him in the gut and it's done. But there's more game to do. And at that point, it's terrible because there are practically no consequences to his death apart from a new faction takes over with none of the build-up. And even then, at the big guys fight on that team, it's another QTE, and it's absolutely and utterly frustrating. It makes these fights forgettable. When you've built up a character like that and bring him down with a flat fight, that's not even a proper fight. It's one of those moments where, oh, I could be doing something right now instead of pressing A, W, A, mash F. It's annoying me, and it's one of those things in video games that sort of gets abused. I have not discussed like stuff like monetization all that much on this channel as far as I'm aware. It's been a while. I've got over 700 videos. Give me some slack on this one. But QTEs are one of my main hatreds in video games, especially when they're abused. In God of War, they're used in alright fashion because they used to do something like pull off someone's face or have sex with two whores. I'm going to let your imagination do that one, but other than that, this is my opinion. I want you to discuss it down in the comments below if you want to. If not, just like or dislike, whatever. If you love QTEs, let me know. If you don't like QTEs, let me know. I want to know. Talk to me. I'll talk to you. The next video will be probably more Half-Life 2 or maybe something spooky for Halloween because it is October, it is Spook Month. But I digress. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my little rant. I do enjoy a good rant every now and then, and I hope that you see what I mean, or you look into your own games and think, that does happen quite a lot, or that is abused, or I completely disagree. I want people to disagree with me so I can discuss things. That's the best way to learn, and that's the best way to have fun. Thank you for watching. Bye now.